Welcome to Inspire, a series brought to you by Finverse, the financial universe. I'm your host, Vishal Krishna, and as usual, I bring you some wonderful founders. We're going to tell you why you should reskill, upskill, and whatnot. I've got with me Praveen Singh, who was the founder of 99 Tests. He's been an entrepreneur for a decade. Today, he's the founder of the 1000 Founder Community. He's going to tell us why founders need you, finance professionals. Hi, Praveen.
Hi, Vishal.
Good to see you.
Great to see you. Thank you.
I've known you for a decade.
Yes.
And I've always been inspired with you because of your work ethic, right? Why set up something called the 1000 Founder Community? What is it?
The whole point is everybody needs a community. A founder is a very, very lonely journey, right? And I have made tons of mistakes in my founder journey, and I did not want any other entrepreneur to repeat the same mistakes. And the whole point is that what I've seen in the founder journey is a very small intervention at the right time will take off the rocket, right? So that is the high value add, and that's the whole reason of starting 1000 Founders.
You know, you said founders are lonely.
Yes.
Is it really that lonely? I'm a founder now, and I know it's lonely. We'll get into that in a bit.
Yes.
But is it really lonely? Because my journey is just, I'm an infant in the entrepreneurship journey, but you've done it for more than 10 years. Why is it a lonely journey?
Well, there's nobody to tell you what to do. You have to do everything, and you are responsible for all the outcome. So it is a very, very, very lonely journey unless you have good mentors, good co-founders, good investors, good partners. And sometimes it's hard to open up even to them, right? So most founders don't open up what are the deepest fears, and it is a lonely journey. And at least when you have peer founders who you can talk to and see, okay, this person is having the same problem I have, they start talking.
That's a good thought process. Let's now get into the brass tacks of the loneliness.
Right.
Let's start with the basis of everything.
Right.
An idea alone does not build a company.
True. Very true.
But yet, all of us are fools to jump into it. We do.
Yes.
What are the first few mistakes an entrepreneur makes? One is he can't tell anybody.
Right.
Not family, not friends.
Right.
Everybody is only looking for, hey, okay, he's good, he's a founder, maybe he's going to make a lot of money.
Yes.
But it is lonely because that's where the finance part kicks in.
Yes.
Is it the finance, marketing, management of people, all three combined that become difficult and make it a lonely journey?
Yes. So the joke, let me start with the joke. The joke in the founders community is if you go out and tell your problems, people will think you're crazy or mad. Nobody will understand the founder's problem, right?
Yeah.
So even a family or friends, they have no idea of what it takes, the ups and downs in the journey and what odds we are fighting. So we are crazy, to put it on record. Most founders are crazy. And these are secondary things, right? As I said, the community, somebody to talk to and put you on the right path, a trusted mentor or a friend or a co-founder or an investor will help you a lot. That's the whole idea. Not those are secondary, right? The money, everything is secondary. If you go on the right path, I think it'll take off.
Oh, you're saying somebody should guide you. You're saying somebody can guide you in the finance,
yes,
somebody can guide you in the marketing,
yes,
somebody can guide you in management of people.
Yes.
So that guidance is missing, you're
yes.
saying. So it's a chicken and egg problem, right? Most of us get in and we find that we don't have guides.
Right, true.
And that's where we get into trouble.
Exactly.
How do you solve this? One is be part of the community, of course.
Of course.
But then how did you solve it? Let me ask you that way.
I solved it by making mistakes.
You make a lot of mistakes.
You make a lot of mistakes, right?
You want to share some of those thoughts? You also say that you raised money and burnt it all.
Yes, thanks to my investors. I'm really grateful. Yes, so I made a lot of mistakes in the journey. One is, I think one of the biggest mistakes is understanding relationship between co-founders, right? And not understanding the incentives, how much equity you give and how other person behaves. So my biggest mistake is that I expected everybody in the company to behave like me, where I had the maximum equity in the whole company. And I was like surprised why everybody is not motivated or crazy like me.
It's never going to happen.
Yeah, it took me 9 years to realize that. Right?
Wow.
That, okay.
Wow, so you were setting a process where people should follow your passion.
Yes.
But people don't come for the passion.
Exactly.
Well said.
Right?
Yeah.
So that was my first mistake. Second mistake was you need strong pillars, right? I didn't have a strong finance pillar. There was tech from my co-founder. I was the business or the idea or fundraising guy. And the finance was a little weak, right? And that costed me a lot.
Why did you say finance is weak? I thought you priced it well. I remember 99 Tests. It was
yes.
such a beautiful idea of skilling
yes.
computer engineers also to finish projects. You know, correct?
Yes, you can work part-time, make money. Yes. Some of our testers made like $1 lakh in a day or two. Like that was
And it was
fun.
like the early work from home,
yes.
take projects, right?
Yes.
People, But why?
It was called crowdsourcing back then.
It's called crowdsourcing,
Yeah.
for sure. You said you failed because of finance. Why did
One
you
of the reasons, because I did not have a trusted pillar to tell me, okay, Praveen, don't do this, don't do that.
Like what? Hiring?
Not just hiring, the government side, the filing taxes, paying stuff. Like I paid a lot of the money in salaries before I pay the government. So that is one of the mistakes I did, right? So somebody who you can trust and say, hey, of course, there are vendors who will tell you after the fact, after you make the mistakes.
That's the quality of life, right? After you make, hey, I told you so kind of thing.
Yeah.
But that doesn't work.
Yeah, exactly. In entrepreneurship, you're allowed to see upfront, okay, you're going to make that mistake, and each mistake can be very, very costly, right? So
it's interesting you made that point that you have to even understand regulation. That means
Yes.
you have to provision for taxes
yes.
and then provision for salaries.
Especially if you're doing a category creation or a new innovation which has not been there. So for example, I had to go and ask my professors, okay, how does the law work if somebody is working in a job and working part-time? What is the law?
Absolutely.
Right? And then my professor told me, yes, there's no law that they can't work unless there is a contract. So then I figured out, I put my privacy policy and say, you ensure you're not working anywhere else and no conflict, then join 99ers. So these were the things I figured out.
Moonlighting problem.
Yes.
Which is all the rage now.
Yes, absolutely.
Right? You survived 9 years,
Yes.
which is phenomenal.
Yes.
What are some of the highs?
Oh, okay. Some of the highs was getting my customer as an angel investor. We tried to raise angel round and nobody in India, we could not raise at that time. And getting my co-founder was the first high, right? I worked alone for 3 years, coding and doing everything. And then my co-founder joined, Naveen from IIT Bombay, and things started to work from there like magic. It was amazing. That was the first high. And then we were again like 1 month from burning out and no money in the bank, and I was again, so you hit the valley of death many times in that journey. I was like, oh, what to do? And suddenly my customer, who's somebody from Australia, called me and said, Praveen, I want to invest in you. I check, and he's like a CTO of a big company. He flew down to Bangalore and gave us 100K. I'm like, wow, this is great. So that was the second high. Third high was obviously Vishal covering us and getting her Series A.
Thank you. You're very kind to me. That's good. That's how I came to know you, actually. Yes. Correct?
Yeah. So we got covered in Bangalore Mirror, and that's how the investor found us. So it was an inbound thing. B-Next Teru, and he said, I have an Indian investor. Do you want to, him? I said, who is it? Oh, it's Krish Gopal Krishna from Infosys. I said, wow. Then I went to Krish sir's house, which is like 2 kilometers from Koramangala, but all the way from Japan, I had to go to his house. So we got first round. And
how much was that?
750K.
That was a big round for you.
Yeah, at that time it was a big round. Yes, and a great valuation, almost 35x our run rate. And then that's another regulation things bit me again.
Okay, you wish somebody had told you, and what was the problem?
The problem was that Angel sent money through a third party.
The angel in Australia.
Steve, right? So he sent the money through third party, and we could not raise the money and we could not issue shares. We had to recreate a new company, send 2 crores back to Steve because he had 35% equity. So these are the learnings in my journey. If you give too much equity to the angel and money doesn't come cleanly, it's existential crisis.
It's interesting you say that. I mean, an entrepreneur is lonely then.
Yes.
So your lawyers, your tax lawyers, your accountants didn't tell you this?
No, at that stage, at 100K stage, nobody was there to help me.
Wow. It is lonely then.
Yes. So my story is, if you raise 3 million in Bangalore, you get all the help. If you are a solo founder, bootstrap, less than 3 million, there's no help. And
so guys, this is an opportunity for you. If you're watching this, why are you sitting at home and saying that there are no jobs? There are founders who want financial help.
Yes, a lot.
So finance is an in thing.
Yes.
But you should know your regulations with it.
Yes.
And that's what we're trying to solve here. Praveen, when you hired people, I want to get in the aspect of managing people this time. Was it very difficult at the time, getting talent? What we are doing at Inspire and Finverse is to make sure that people actually go work.
Right.
Today, it's almost like people love moonlighting, people love part-timing. It's okay with all that if they're freelancers, but they also work for somebody and want to work for others.
Right.
It's a very confusing word, but it's a word of opportunity.
Yes.
What are your views on talent today? And why do you say that they have to upskill, work with somebody for a few years, know the ropes, and then do many things if they want to?
So the world has changed, right? Nobody's climbing the corporate ladder, like not many people.
Nobody wants to,
right? So what is your value? Your value is your skill in the market, as simple as that. And how do you grow that, right? If you're just doing what is told, it's going to take a long time to grow.
Yeah.
Right? And if you're highly talented and you're in demand, there's no looking back. So the world is exponential, right? The top 1% talent commands huge money. And same thing happened in 1990s. Some of my top testers used to make 1 lakh, 2 lakh a month, more than the founders. Right? And he is amazing. He spent almost 50, 80 hours on the platform, more than the founders. So if you're passionate and you love something, don't let anything stop you, right?
Yeah, but that's the top 1 percentile because they have an understanding of the subject.
Right.
The rest of them have to work at it.
But how did they get there?
Yeah. Well, hard work.
Not just that, they worked with other top people.
Absolutely. That was what you're coming to.
Exactly.
So that means they've trained and worked hard before they went and freelanced.
Exactly. So to become the best in your field, work with the best people in your field. And if you're limiting your circle to just 10 or 20 people, it's going to be hard. So in my 99 you could learn. So one of my testers told me, Praveen, what it took me 4 years to learn in a job, I learned in 6 months in 99 because looking at other people, how they're doing the work, it's open platform. So work with great people, you can compress your time, your skills, and upskill very, very fast and get to the top.
But you can't moonlight without knowledge.
Yes.
That's what's happening.
Right.
My pet peeve is that today it's very difficult to hire.
Right.
The expectations are high, especially in Bangalore, because every second day there's a media announcement of some unicorn or some company raising 100 million.
Yes.
Nobody wants to work with startups.
Right.
And why is that? How do you solve that? Like you said, if you raise 3 million, you're recognized.
Yeah, true.
Even not just for media and investors,
right.
but also your employees.
True, absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
So how do you balance that out? Now coming down to your 1,000 founder community, what are these some of the problems that they discuss?
Yes, definitely. So if you're just working for money, right, it's very hard. That's the point I'm coming back to again and again. Right? So if you're passionate about finance, get into it. Don't look at the money, right? So same thing in the community. So founders have found different ways to hire these people for passion, not for money. Yeah. Right? You won't believe. Just yesterday I saw one founder. He hired a 16-year-old guy, college dropout, to get his parents' permission to get him on board. Mm-hmm. And there is this huge gap, the really passionate and hardworking and the people who want entitled, I need a salary and this job, right? So founders are going to find a way to find the passionate people, and I hope you become one of the passionate guys.
I want to throw you a curveball in 3 things.
Sure.
We are a bit long in the tooth. We are old, because we're in the 40s. That's the reason. Okay. Yeah. So how do you manage as a founder when you start up family commitments? One. Again, making sure that people don't moonlight, but come to you for the passion. Right. Because now they may say that, hey, these guys are saying we shouldn't earn money. We are not saying that.
No,
okay?
we're not
saying that. We are saying come for the passion. Money will happen.
Money will happen, yes.
Right? And the third piece is getting investors on board, man.
Right.
Only 1% gets the money on board. How do you manage family after 40, commitments and startup?
Right.
Employees that come to you for the passion and investors. How do we manage that? What does the 1,000 founder community promise?
So, of course, you need family support. So, number one is without family. I have not seen a successful founder without a good family support system, right? Yeah. So, that is the number one, right? As long as you have the buy-in from the family, you can fight the odds. But you're fighting two fronts, family and the startup world, it's going to be hard.
Absolutely.
Right? So, that is the first one, right? So, if you can't convince your family or get their support, what can you do? Right. So that is the one, right? And as a founder, you're working hard and you're hiring people for the passion, for the story that you want to change the world or add value more than money, right? So startups are not the corporate job, right? And what was the third question?
The third question was about managing investors.
Okay.
You managed it, but how do in your big community, how do people manage it? I know I'm on the community and I see people talking about this. It's hard.
So I have this theory, right? To be a great founder, you have to manage all the stakeholders, the investors, the family, the employees. So sometimes
Trinity, the impossible Trinity.
Yes. Sometimes you get great investors like me. Sometimes you get very poor investors. I don't want to take names. I have seen 40 investors calling up the founder and say, do this, do this, do this. You get great customers. You get great average employees. Okay. So the way I look at it, you have to balance great, good, poor of all three. If you're able to manage, I got great investors, one of the best investors in the entire world. I don't want to rate good employees. Customers were a little poor because I didn't price it right. So if I had got good customers, good employees and great investors, success. So that's the way I look at it.
Wow, so it's a question of, it's like a Game of Thrones already. In a sense, you have to be
Yes.
ahead of everyone else.
Yes.
And one of the things that people don't understand is the pricing. Founders,
Right,
very essential.
Right.
Does the CA help you in pricing, or do you sit with the finance guy and then say, knowing our costs, this is our cost of product? Is that how you work at it?
I usually work with the customers more than the CA. Right?
Yeah.
So,
but the customers always want price low. You know how
Yes.
it is in India, especially. Can you do it free even sometimes?
Exactly. So you figure out the walkaway price, right? What is the lowest price customers find value at, and then kind of do that. So I have my favorite. I'll take a name if you don't mind.
You should.
I ask this question to all founders: which is your favorite pricing page of all enterprise software? Pricing model. CRM, marketing, any software do you?
I think the Zoho and Freshworks model.
Okay, beautiful, right?
Beautiful products. SMB,
right.
One has now done SMB and enterprise.
Right.
And one has gone. Freshworks is obviously listed now.
Yes. So my personal favorite is HubSpot. It has the best pricing page in the entire world.
Okay.
Do you know why?
Why?
Because they charge according to value. You can have 10,000 emails in your database, but you're sending only 1,000 emails, they charge you for that. So very few founders are able to connect value to the price. Okay. Right? So as you send 10,000 emails, the pricing goes up exponentially. So as a founder, if you have figured out what the customers value and connected to the usage of the pricing model, I can just see a pricing page and tell how well the founder has understood his customer.
Interesting. Very interesting. So that you would say that it comes with experience of talking to customers and not your accountant.
Yes, truly.
So what's the accountant's role in all this, or the finance guys? You said that in the community,
right?
We need good finance people.
Yes.
What are these finance people for?
So this is where the youngsters can take a step up, right? There's a definition of finance people, but if you understand the business of your founder and you're one step ahead, tell him, please don't do this, do this. You will become a trusted partner. Right? And that is an option chair open for everybody and nobody's taking it.
Wide open.
Yeah, exactly. So the founders don't have time to spend on regulation or this is something I shouldn't do, I should be careful about. If you study that, you study your industry like Moonlighting, what is legal, what is not, and advise your founder. That's a rocket to your career.
Absolutely. So you're saying it's not the lack, I said it's a lack of talent, but you're saying it's not that, it's because people are not discovering these opportunities.
Yes. Okay. There's supply and demand, right? There's a demand for great talent. Please
go for it. Yeah. Okay. You come from Mysore.
Yes.
This is my final question.
Yeah.
You came from Mysore and yet went on to build a great company in Bangalore for a decade, and now you've started the 1,000 founder community, and I really wish you all the luck there.
Thank you.
And I want to grow with you in that community. I'm part of it. Grateful to be added there. Where are students lacking? When you say reskill, upskill, I look at two categories. One is your first part of your career, 22 to 26, where you work with great founders or good companies. Not unicorns, are good companies. Okay, so you come learn the ropes and then you reskill on, like you said, rocket ship kind of.
Yes.
You got to move.
Yes.
How should talent plan itself? That's the kind of advice that I want you to give them.
Right. There is a, skills and knowledge which your college gives you to get into the job. But how do you grow in the real world with the company, right? So once you acquire the people skills, acquire the hard skills to solve practical problems, you are unstoppable, right? And how do you do that? You can't theorize it. You have to work on it. And once you work with good people will accelerate your career 10 years into 2 years. So work with great people and solve hard problems with them, and then there's no looking back.
That's the simple advice from Praveen.
Very simple, right?
Okay then, ladies and gentlemen, you are watching Inspire, but I'd like you to go check out Finverse, download their app, and let us know what you think about their finance courses. There's more than finance, there's taxes as well, right? It's only two things are real in life, death and taxes. So go study, reskill yourself. And if you like Inspire, ask questions, and we'll get Praveen to answer some of your deepest, darkest questions, okay? And we can answer them for you. Thank you for watching this. Thank you, Praveen.
Thank you, Vishal. Great talking to you today. Thank you.
Thank you.